Hey guys, here at OSandVGXReviews.com. You're watching the video review of the Palm One Zaire 71 series pocket PC device. This is one of the older pocket PCs that's been manufactured by Palm, which is, of course, now owned by HP. And in terms of design and hardware, there's only really one special feature on this model that really differentiates itself from any other device out there on the market, and that's its built-in VGA style camera that slides up and uses a mechanism where you slide the Pocket PC up to reveal a shutter key, and on the back it also reveals your camera lens, which allows you to take still photos, and with third-party applications allows you to record video files. And that's a pretty useful feature, especially on a Pocket PC, since it's pretty rare. And in addition, it has a full SD expansion card slot, which allows you to maximize the memory and do some quick video shots and some applications that require you to do some video imaging. So it's a cool feature that we found quite appealing, and as a design, quite special on this device. Otherwise, the Pocket PC is pretty normal in terms of features. Let's take a look at hardware first. In terms of design, you have access to a pretty bright and vibrant display here. It is fairly normal in terms of Palm OS devices. It's bright and vibrant in TFT backlight. It's color. It is a resistive touchscreen though, which means it's not going to use any capacitive technology on here. Underneath the display itself, you get a very transflective graffiti area, which allows you to use handwriting recognition, and also you have access to the home, the menu, and favorites and a search key. And also below that, you have a few buttons. These buttons are pretty easy to press, but they're not really risen above the surface, and definitely menu navigation is a little tough at times with this tiny joystick that's kind of hard to press, if I'm going to be honest with you. But it's usable. You also have access to a few physical keys, including the calendar, contacts. You also have access to a pictures key and a notepad key. Nothing on the left-hand side. On the top, again, you have access to that stylus port. It's a pretty large stylus, fairly lengthy, and it's pretty easy to use. You also have a full 3.5mm headphone jack, which is great. You also have an on-off switch and the SD card slot, which is pre-mentioned. On the back, you have optional accessories. Again, the case is made entirely out of metal, so it looks really good. This device is also really durable, and they can probably throw it around quite a bit before it will have any damage or any indication of any scratches on it, which is definitely pretty good. The metal is also not a fingerprint magnet, so it's not going to attract too much fingerprints either. It looks very nice. You also have a mono speaker that's very loud on the back. On the bottom here, you have access to the typical Palm dock. Again, build quality on this model is really, really strong. It's almost entirely made out of metal. A few plastic construction still makes this device really easy to hold, and it feels great in the hand. Again, it's one of the more quality products from Palm in terms of hardware and design. It also looks fairly good too with the metal coloring, and yeah, it's pretty sleek overall in terms of hardware. Also, whereas stuff like the Palm Tungsten TX series or the Palm the Gigabyte series are more focused on productivity with its built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and auto connectivity, this model is pretty much the powerhouse in terms of entertainment. So whereas some devices really feature on web browsing, this one is definitely on multimedia, on watching movies, pictures, listening to music with that full 3.5mm headphone jack, taking photos, and native support, as well as a really beautiful hardware right out of the box. And these things make this probably the most the most compelling device for consumers on the market. Turning on the device, it runs a fairly stock version of Palm OS, so you have access to all the icons and such. Let's turn off the lights and see what else we can see on this model. You have the battery icon on this device. This device uses a rechargeable lithium-ion battery for charging your needs. It lasts does quite a nice job of retaining battery life, and it's going to last you around a week. You have access to an address book, which you can write emails and people's phone numbers. You can look them up. Again, pressing the bottom graffiti pad will bring up a full QWERTY keyboard if you press that. Let's see. Press that. There you go. There's your QWERTY keyboard. The QWERTY keyboard is a little bit on the small side, but the screen is definitely really bright and vibrant, and it's quite good at displaying colors, so it's actually pretty usable. Even with your fingernails, I think some people will be able to type just well with this keyboard. It's larger than most Palm devices, especially some of those monochrome Palm Zaire 21 series and stuff like that. So here's your calculator. You also have a pretty standard calculator. It's very easy to press. All the buttons are super large, very responsive for quick calculations. You also have access to a card info to read your card. You have a date book, which is basically your address. You can view them in different formats. For example, calendar view. You can view them in different appointment views. It's pretty easy to use and very useful. You also have access to an expense calculator, which allows you to create new expenses and type things in fast if you want to do that. The graffiti area is really good at recognizing your handwriting, like writing over here will indicate a lowercase number, writing in the middle will allow you to write an uppercase letter, and writing to the right will allow you to write symbols as well as letters and numbers. Other features include HotSync, memo pad built in here. You can write a few memos as a word processor. Again, with that QWERTY keyboard, let's try writing a test. E, S, T, and you can see that it definitely works fairly well. We also have access to a notepad that was pre-mentioned, and you can jot down notes on here, and it's really fast and responsive. You can also scribble down stuff. It doesn't lag, and it works with also your fingerprint. So quite easy to use, pretty nice feature. You also have photos, which is probably the main feature on this model in particular. You have a wall clock, which allows you to view some time and dates. The photos is great at viewing all types of photos. We can look at a slideshow. We can also look at all photos, which is probably good. There's some preloaded ones that take advantage of the bright screen on this. The resolution is really, really nice, and all the colors pop. Viewing angles may have a little bit of an issue. The screen is also a little bit washed out under direct sunlight, but overall it's a great screen. You can shuffle through the different images, and you can see that the colors are really vibrant and really impressive overall. Also, let's try going back home and view some images we took with the camera. So this is a night view, which is took an alarm clock, and this is something taken outdoors. You can see that it's quite decent. This is also a painting, I think. So the camera quality is also pretty good as well. You can also load, of course, third-party applications that Palm doesn't exactly offer right out of the box, and these allow you to add more games and multimedia files. You can add the Karma player for playing MP4 videos on here, and those ran really nicely, especially with the 3.5mm headphone jack that allowed you to output or input speakers as you will want to do. So overall, the Palm One Zyre 71 series is still pretty relevant if you want a multimedia PDA device that can organize your contents, jot down quick notes in class, or anything like that, especially since it has this really cool built-in camera feature that allows you to slide it out and take pictures with the built-in camera. It might not be the best camera out there, but it has quite a lot of settings, from the resolution to the saving to the stamps, the date stamps and the shutter sounds, and they're quite easy to use and they're pretty intuitive as well. So yeah, overall the Palm One Zyre 71 series is highly recommended if you want a multimedia pocket PC with a twist to it, and again, it's more meant for the consumer rather than the business users. So if that's what you're looking for, this device will fit the bill. Thanks for watching this brief overview review by OS and VTX Reviews. Thanks.